always ask me, Professor Kat, why do you get into crystals? You were already deep in jade. What made you cross over? And honestly, it wasn't business, it was healing. There was a period in my life where I felt drained, too many things happening, too much noises around me, and I remember holding my first amethyst. I didn't buy it because it was pretty. I bought it because I was searching for calm. I would sit with it at night, just holding it in my hand, and I realized it reminded me to breathe, to slow down, to listen to myself. That was my entry into healing crystals, and since then, I've carried them with me every day. So when I look at Europe right now, and I see how people are falling in love with crystal, I understand it completely. It is not just a trend, it is a longing. People want something deeper than decoration, something that makes them feel alive, safe, connected. That's why when I share crystals, I don't just sell them as bracelets or stones, I weave them with meaning. Horoscopes, because each star sign carries its own rhythm. Life path numbers, because numbers tell the story of your soul's journey. The 5 elements, because balance is the root of health and destiny. And chakras, because our energy centers are like doors, and crystals are like keys that help open and balance them. For me, that's the beauty of healing crystals. They are not just about believing in magic, they are about remembering that your life has patterns, your body has energy, and nature has tools that help us reconnect with both. And since we mentioned horoscopes, let's go there first. Because whether you believe in astrology or not, there's something fascinating about how the stars mirror our personalities. And crystals, well, they are like companions for each sign. Take the air signs, for example, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Curious, intelligence, full of ideas, but sometimes the mind just won't stop spinning. That's why amethyst and fluorite are perfect. They calm the noise and bring clarity without killing creativity. Take the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Bold, passionate, always on the move. But fire, when it burns too strong, can burn you out. So grounding crystals like black obsidian or hematite help anchoring that fire into strength and direction. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Practical, steady, hardworking, but sometimes too focused on responsibilities. Rose quartz reminds you tenderness is not weakness. Love also feels ambition. And water signs like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, emotional, intuitive, and sensitive. Sometimes you dive too deep. That's where moonstones and aquamarine balance things, helping you flow without drowning. By the way, if you are curious about this part, I've actually made separate shorts for each element: air, water, fire, and earth. You can go and watch those later to dive deeper into which crystals match your signs. But here, the key takeaway is, when you wear a crystal aligned with your signs, it feels like tuning an instrument. You are not changing who you are. You are simply finding harmony. And horoscopes are just one way to see it. But you know, there's another lens I love using, your life path number. For those of you who don't know, your life path number comes from your birth date. It is like a blueprint of your soul's journey. And when you pair it with crystals, it feels like giving yourself the right tools for your personal path. For example, if your life path is 1, you are a natural leader, dependent, driven, ambitious, but sometimes that fire burns too hot. Citrine and Carnelian help keep that confidence shining while also balancing impatience with focus. Life path number 2, the peacemaker. You thrive in harmony, you sense people's emotions deeply, but sometimes you absorb too much. That's where moonstones and rose quartz become anchors, soft, nurturing, reminding you that your empathy is a gift, not a burden. Life path 3, the creator, the communicator. Your energy is vibrant, expressive, but scattered. Amethyst and blue lace agate help you channel your ideas, so you don't just dream them, you live them. Life path 4, the builder. Steady, practical, grounded, but sometimes too rigid. Smoky quartz and black tourmaline remind you that structure is power, but flexibility is wisdom. We could go on through all 9 numbers, each one with its own lesson, its own crystals. What's magical is this: whether it's horoscopes or numbers, crystals give us a language, a way to recognize what we already know inside ourselves, and then hold it in our hands as a reminder. When I first discovered this, I thought, wow, no wonder Europe is falling in love with crystals. It is not just jewelry, it is personal, it is a mirror of who you are and who you are becoming. Alright, let's keep going with the numbers, because every number carries its own rhythm, and crystals can tune into that rhythm beautifully. Life Path 5. The Adventurer. You crave freedom, change, experience. You hate feeling tied down, but sometimes that restlessness scatters your energy. Labradorite and turquoise are your allies. They encourage exploration, but also keep you grounded enough to actually finish where you start. Life Path 6. The Neutral. You are caring, responsible, always putting others first. But sometimes that means forgetting yourself. Rose quartz, of course, but also green aventurine. Remind you that self-love is not selfish, it is what allows you to keep giving. Life Path 7. The Seeker. You are introspective, analytical, always searching for deeper meaning, but sometimes isolation becomes your trap. Amethyst and clear quartz support your spiritual clarity while keeping your heart open to connection. Life Path 8. The Powerhouse. You are ambitious, strong, or natural at building success, but the shadow side is control and stress. Pyrite and black onyx are incredible for you. They amplify your power while helping you channel it with balance, so success doesn't cost you peace. Life Path 9. The Humanitarian. You feel deeply connected to the collective, compassionate, wise, often self-sacrificing. But sometimes you give until you are empty. Lapis lazuli and amethyst help here. They deepen your wisdom, but also remind you to protect your own energy. When you see it this way, numbers and crystals weave together like a map. Your birthday points to your lessons. Your crystals become your companions. And that's why I always tell people, choosing a crystal isn't random. It is not just, oh, this is pretty, I will wear it. It is about resonance. It is about finding the stone that mirrors your journey and keeping you aligned with it. You know, after horoscopes and life path numbers, there's another layer that I personally loved, and that's the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, matter, and water. This comes from Eastern philosophy, and it is all about balance. Because everything in life, nothing exists alone. Every strength, every challenge is connected to these 5 forces. Let's start with wood. Wood is growth, expansion, creativity. If you are strong in wood, you are full of new ideas, always moving forward. But too much wood, it becomes impatient, frustration, even anger. That's why green aventurine and malachites are perfect. They channel growth in a healthy way and remind you to stay flexible like bamboo, strong but bending. And there is fire, passion, energy, visibility. Fire people light up the room, but fire can burn. It can also consume. So crystals like cornelian and garnet support that fire, while stones like hematite help ground it so it doesn't burn you out. Earth, stability, nurturing, and practicality. Earth people hold communities together, but too much earth becomes stubbornness, worry, even happiness. That's where yellow calcite and citrine shine. They bring warmth and lightness back into Earth's steady rhythm. Then comes metal, structure, clarity, precision. Metal is discipline, focus, order, but too much metal, it becomes rigid, cold, even isolating. That's why crystals like clear quartz and selenite resonate here. They sharpen clarity, but also remind matter to stay open, to let energy flow rather than lock it down. And finally, water. Depth, wisdom, intuition, flow. Water people feel deeply, they are imaginative and spiritual, but too much water is fear, overthinking, getting lost in emotions. That's why aquamarine and moonstone balance this element. They let emotions move like waves instead of drowning you. When I started looking at crystals through the 5 elements, it changed everything for me. Because suddenly it wasn't just about this is pretty or this feels good. It became about understanding where am I out of balance, what element in me is overactive, what element is starving. And that's where crystals became more than jewelry. They became medicine, not the kind you swallow, but the kind you wear, hold, and remember to bring yourself back to balance. And if we take one step further from 5 elements of the East, we meet something that comes from yoga and meditation traditions, the chakras. 7 energy centers in the body, each one linked to different emotions, strengths, and lessons. And crystals, again, can be companions here. Let's start at the base, root chakra. At the base of your spine, this is safety, grounding, stability. When it is weak, you feel anxious, restless, insecure. That's why black tourmaline, hematite, red jasper, these stones bring you back to earth. They remind your body you are safe here. Move up to the sacral chakra, just below the navel. This is creativity, pleasure, intimacy. When blocked, you feel numb, uninspired. Carnelian and orange calcite reawaken that fire, helping you feel alive in your own body. Then the solar plexus around the stomach. This is confidence, willpower, direction. When weak, you doubt yourself. Citron, tiger's eyes, pyrite, all of this fuel your inner sun, reminding you, yes you can. And the heart, of course, the heart chakra. Love, compassion, connection. When close, you feel lonely even in a crowd. Rose quartz, green aventurine, jade, these open you gently, teaching you that vulnerability is strength. Next, the throat chakra. It is about communication, expression, truth. If it blocked, your words feel stuck in your throat. Blue lace agate, aquamarine, lapis lazuli. This clear the pathway so you can speak your truth with ease. Then, third eye, between your brows. Intuition, insight, clarity. When foggy, you feel lost, disconnected from inner guidance. Amethyst and labradorite sharpen your vision, helping you see beyond the obvious. And finally, the crown chakra, at the top of the head. This is connection to something greater, wisdom, faith, spiritual trust. When close, you feel alone, cut off. Clear quartz, selenite, amethyst, these open the crown, so light can flow through. When I first met crystals to chakras, I realized something profound. Every stone, every color, every vibration, they are not random. They mirror the body, the soul, the universe. So whether you come to crystal through horoscope, through numbers, through 5 elements, or through chakras, it is all point to the same truth. Healing is about remembering who you already are and coming back into balance. You know, I've heard a lot about horoscopes, numbers, elements, chakras, but let me bring it back to something very simple. How I personally use crystals. Because honestly, I don't talk about this as some abstract idea. For me, healing crystals have been part of my daily life. I will give you an example. There are days when I feel completely drained, too many messages, too much noise, too much energy coming at me from all directions. On those days, I always reach for black tourmaline. I will hold it in my palms for a few minutes and I can literally feel my breath slow down. It is like a shield goes up, reminding me that I don't have to carry everything. Then there are nights when my mind won't stop racing, ideas, worries, overthinking. I keep an amethyst by my bedside, and when I place it on my nightstand, it is like my brain receives a signal. Time to rest, time to release. It doesn't knock me out like a pill, it just reminds my body what peace feels like. And in moments when I feel soft, vulnerable, maybe even unloved, I wear rose quartz, not because I believe the stone creates love, but because when I see that soft pink on my wrist, it reminds me love is already here. Love begins with me. That's the thing about healing crystals. They don't do the work for you. They reflect the work back at you. They help you remember the state you are seeking, whether that's safety, clarity, rest, or love. I think that's why people in Europe now resonate so much with crystals, because life is fast, chaotic, demanding, and crystals, small as they are, become gentle anchors, and crystals, small as they are, become gentle anchors. They don't shout, they whisper, and sometimes a whisper is all you need to come back to yourself. So here we are. After hours together, exploring crystals from every angle, we begin with my own story, how I entered this path not through business, but through healing. Because healing is where crystals first touched me. We journeyed together the layers, horoscopes showing us how the stars reflect our personality, life path numbers reminding us of the soul's journey, the 5 elements teaching us about balance, and the chakras showing us every energy centers can be supported by nature's stone. We didn't just talk about theory, we talk about real life, how I use crystals when I'm drained, when I can't sleep, when I need to feel love again. And maybe you started to remember your own moments too. Times when you need grounding or clarity, or just a quiet reminder that you are not alone. Here's the truth I want to leave you with. Crystals are not magic wands. They don't change you, but they remind you. They hold up like a mirror to your own energy, your own needs, your own light. That's why across cultures, from Egypt to China to Europe today, people keep reaching for crystals because deep down, we are all searching for balance, for resonance, for something that helps us remember who we are. So as we close, I want you to think about one crystal that calls to you the most right now. Don't overthink it. Just the first one that comes to your mind, that's your whisper. That's your starting point. And as you carry it with you, whether in your pocket, your wrist, or by your bedside, let it remind you of this. You already have the energy you are seeking. The crystal simply helps you to return to it. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you leave not just with knowledge, but with a softer heart, a clearer mind, and deeper connection to yourself. Until next time, may your path always be guided, and may your light shine as naturally as the crystals of the earth.
Done talking about it. We should do something about it. Done talking about it. We should do something about it. Done talking about it. We should do something about it.